I need to come forward about something. I have an addiction. I have a problem. And this problem is so intense that it takes up my daily life and stops me from doing a lot of things, including making this video, actually. I'm like 10 minutes late to making this because I got stuck watching something. This, of course, is the Michael Bay Transformers movies. And before you say anything, I know they're terrible. The plot was really bad, and that's what I want to talk about this video because I have been non-stop watching Transformers clips for the past 2 months, which was before the Transformers movie was introduced. Maybe more than 2 months then. Because when the Transformers movie was introduced, I was already deep into my phase of being majorly addicted to this terrible franchise. See, the Transformers movies were something of a childhood thing for me. I didn't really watch the cartoons at first until eventually the movies released. And so those Michael Bay movies, those terrible adaptations of the original content, were my introduction into the concept of Transformers. And it wasn't until very recently when this little channel online named Pointless Hub did a series going through all the Transformers movies and just breaking them down. And I was gonna say pointing out everything wrong with it, but in reality, it's literally just a video breaking down all the movies. But there's only bad things to say. It's so bad. Also, I've been having a bad cough the past few days, so if I ever have random cuts mid-sentence, I coughed my lungs out. So, sorry about that. Allergies are a bitch right now. God, that. This actually got so bad that one night I saw that Transformers Dark of the Moon was free on Amazon Prime for like a week, and so I watched it, and I was reminded about how bad the plots in these movies are. They just don't make sense. None of them align. Like, you'll watch one movie, the first movie, right? There's the Allspark, that funny box. And all the Transformers came to Earth, and they're looking for it. They want that because it gives them superpowers. Which, by the way, at the end of the movie, they decide to just give it to the bad guys, and it kills them? So are you saying that if the good guys won, Optimus would have just committed suicide? Like, was he just committing seppuku for a box in his chest? I don't understand. But anyway, into the next movie, or the third movie, actually, the Transformers have been on the moon this entire time. There were Transformers that came to Earth before the Transformers in the first movie, and they've been on the moon the whole time. Fun fact. But then, actually, in a different movie, they'd been there since the pyramids. What? Something I think is really interesting is, so the Transformers movies, there's 5 of them, I think. Let me check that, actually. And you can tell this addiction's got really bad because I was actually right. There are 5, and I know all the names of them. Because, of course, there's Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon, Age of Extinction, and The Last Night are, like, the ones that happen after the first movie. And I didn't even need to look that up. I'm reading them, and it's just affirming my thoughts. But I know them, and the order. I can't even... sometimes I mix up the Star Wars movies' orders, and I'm so immersed in the Star Wars universe that I know, like, the hyperspace routes. So this is a problem. You can tell this addiction has gone way too far. But anyways, what I was going to get into before, we're talking about the 5 Michael Bay movies. There was another one, the Bumblebee movie, that came out before that. And in that movie, it talks about like, oh, this is like a prequel. This is how Bumblebee came to Earth and reconned. But then in one of the Michael Bay movies, apparently Bumblebee fought the Nazis. When did he come to Earth? And why did he just join? He picked a side in a war? Like, what's happening here? Well, actually, to be fair, if he came to Earth to help protect humanity, he would kind of choose the one that isn't killing people. Never mind. That good point for Bumblebee. Points for not Michael Bay. That wasn't even a Michael... The Bumblebee movie wasn't Michael Bay. Wait, but him fighting the Nazis was... I'm sorry. My brain's getting fried. Anyways, I actually put some effort in today to dig into other nitpicks that people had about the Transformers movies, and I found some bangers. Anyways, first let's cover the changes that these movies did, and like to the original lore. Which first I'm gonna go before I go off of the things I see written down. I want to go off one thing. The original Transformers, to my knowledge, fought over energon, right? It's whatever, like this fluid that gives them power, but it's essentially just alcohol. So for them, like it gets them all like drunk or something. So essentially, the Transformers movies are just a glorified prohibition. But then, why is it in the actual movies, where each one we get a different gizmo gadget or what's-it that just originally existed since the beginning of time and gives them infinite power? First it was the Allspark, and then it was something else. They all just want to kill Optimus Prime so they can get free stuff. It's like anyone on Black Friday in a Walmart. Another thing I think is kind of goofy is in the original shows, Optimus Prime is like a good person who's like a leader of like a rebellion. So like, you know, he's like, he has morals and standards. But in the movies, he's a war criminal. He killed someone who surrendered. I'll play the clip.
Optimus, all I ever wanted was the survival of our race.
You didn't betray me. You betrayed yourself.
No, Optimus!
That dude said sorry. And then you know what happened right after that? His enemy that helped him defeat this guy, his original enemy, Megatron, you know, the big bad of the whole franchise, who helped him defeat this new guy. They're like, so you want to be friends now? And Optimus rips his head off! I don't know why I get so worked up about this. I don't even care about Transformers. I literally just like the series because the CGI makes my brain go woo-wee-woo. And then if you keep going forward in the movies and, like, move more down the timeline, apparently the Transformers were with King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. So when Bumblebee came to Earth to kill the Nazis, did he meet the King Arthur gang? Were they here? Were they underground? Like, make it make sense, Michael. I'm looking into some of the, like, obvious nitpicks for the movies right now, because I'm actually doing, like studying for this video, because I wanted to actually, like, be accurate. And some of these nitpicks, I don't actually care that much about, like, the lack of a theme song. I feel like the music that was composed for the Transformers movies, at least the earlier ones, were really good. Like, I think of those as the Transformer theme song, but that's also because that's just what I was introduced to the franchise with. But I do see valid nitpicks. Like, Devastator, there's this one Transformer that's, like, a bunch of different, like, construction vehicles put together into this giant character. He looks really cool in the series, but in the movie, they gave him balls.
I am directly below. The enemy scrotum.
They took wrecking balls and gave him testicles. They're made of cement. Why would you give them balls? Like, how do they operate? What is the point of this? Also, going back to Transformers being on Earth since the beginning of time, wouldn't people have written it down somewhere? Like, I get corrupt governments could cover up things that have happened in the past, but there wasn't a single bystander. Do you think, how would the like, Knights of the Round Table have existed as a myth in history and just cover up that there was never a giant robot behemoth in the middle of that meeting? No one snitched at all. Not one soldier who helped fight the Nazis was like, oh yeah, we also had this giant yellow, like, tractor help us fight things. Make it make sense, Michael! Also, something I think is really, really goofy is, like, the character designs. I don't think they're that bad. I kind of like the idea of taking those, like, goofy comic designs and making them realistic for the real world. But that's not the problem. It's in the later movies when there are characters that you've seen get killed off are just back. They're just in the movie again. like the plot holes are so big they're comical. They actually used, I think I saw it somewhere. They used the model for one Decepticon 6 times, and 3 of them were in the same movie. He got killed 3 times. What? This is actually a perfect segue into the character design side of this movie because, oh boy, there's a lot of nitpicks there. Like, I mean, I guess the biggest ones is the older Transformers movies did really good at making the faces look like animated while also still being metal and not just being human. But then we have faces like this. Or this. Or, if you want to be really terrified, let's put Albert Einstein on a Transformer because he's smart and builds things. Took a moment to read deeper into Optimus Prime's downfall in the movie, or the movies, and how he just actually goes insane over time. And oh my god, it's deeper than I thought. There are times in some of the movies, apparently in the second movie, where they just hunt down and kill, like, Decepticons that are still left over after the first one, and he just disables them and then just publicly executes them. He's supposed to be a hero, and he's breaking the Geneva Convention. And then in the third movie, he rips Megatron's head off with the spine. He just performs a Mortal Kombat fatality on him. And then secondly, he kills his mentor because his mentor turns on him. Yes, I know we already talked about this. Just let me cook. I'm on a roll. Just let me cook, please. Because his mentor works with the Decepticons to create an attack on New York. You don't need to know the lore. I'm not going to monologue for you guys. But essentially, Optimus lets it happen because he wants to show how bad the Decepticons are. So he lets like thousands of people die to prove a point, which is... That's definitely one way to lead an army. And then the other thing was he... Instead of being like, let's save Earth, his big slogan at the beginning of the battle was, kill them all. Like, I don't know, man. I get that some superheroes can kill. I don't know. Like, I'm not going to fight the whole superhero shouldn't kill allegations. I don't really care. But this seems a bit out of character for our silly little red and blue fella over here. I feel like the later movies aren't even worth digging into because of how bad it gets. Like, the movie is just filled with celebrity appearances for some reason. Brands, like, let us never forget the Mountain Dew Transformer or the Oreo Transformer.
Danger, security breach. Danger,
And then, like, the designs get worse as you saw the aforementioned Albert Einstein. That was absolutely terrible. And this character design thing isn't even something that stays a consistent issue. Like, the issue goes all the way until the end of the Michael Bay franchise. Then the Bumblebee movie comes in, and they make good-looking Transformers. Like, there's a reason that, like, there was a lot of outcry about Optimus Prime being a literal truck with flames on the side rather than just the red, like, box-shaped truck thing. I don't really care. Apparently it was an issue with CGI not working well on the original look. Sure, whatever, make it work, make it real. But they did it in Bumblebee, and they did it well. And the CGI looked alright. The acting was terrible in Bumblebee. John Cena was one of the characters in the movie. I watched him get blown up. Whatever. Anyway, the movie was made well, but that's all trumped when I saw the trailers for the new Transformers movies. And oh my god, I'm so hyped. I'll be releasing a review of the movie this upcoming Saturday or something after I watch it. But they did it so well and so right. And honestly, they didn't even do that bad in the early Transformers movies from Michael Bay, but it seems like as he got a larger budget, the quality got worse. It just continued to get worse. But anyway, yeah, I have been obsessed with this for months, and I just want to talk about it in a video, and I want to post more like this. So, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. As always, adios, arrivederci, goodbye, and don't piss off Optimus Prime.
Megatron here. I'm gonna draw Optimus as a femoid.
Nous sommes des organismes robotisés autonomes de la planète Cybertron.
It's too late, Optimus. Look,